Hello, my name is Donald Alvarez, lifelong resident of North Carolina and an avid recreational fisherman. Everyone has heard the phrase, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you can feed him for a lifetime. At one point in time, that was a very true statement. Fish are not only a great source of protein, but amazing table fare as well. Fishing has also become a very popular recreational sporting activity. Anyone who lives near North Carolina's beautiful coast or any of our large lakes can tell you that fishing is an extremely adrenaline boosting sport. I am here today because the recreational fishing rules and regulations of the state of North Carolina are getting out of control. Whether in regard to size and bag limits, the steady increasing of fishing licenses, or the termination of quality fishing locations, the hobby of recreational fishing is becoming a very difficult endeavor. The size and bag limits for recreational fishing are becoming stricter every year. This is why I chose this topic to discuss first. A person on the hunt for cobia in 2017, recreationally, were allowed 3 cobia per day with a minimum size of 27 inches. This year, according to the North Carolina Division of Marine Fisheries, it is unlawful to possess or harvest for recreational purposes more than 1 cobia per day with a minimum length of 36 inches. Don't get me wrong, I am all for the preservation of the species, but some would call it unfair that recreational fishermen who enjoy the sport maybe once, twice a month be confounded to such regulations. For hire vessels and commercial fishermen are allowed to harvest up to 6 cobias per day. While I understand commercial fishermen depend on these limits to earn a living, which situation does the preservation of a species more harm? The weekend warriors such as myself, who if we're lucky may land 1 cobia the entire month, or a for-hire vessel, who on a daily basis target and harvest at least 6 cobias per day. One regulation that's fairly new and has caused a major uproar amongst recreational fishermen is the closing of the flounder fishery. North Carolina Division of Marine Fisheries reported that the southern flounder numbers have declined. Now, North Carolina is home to summer flounders, Gulf flounders, and southern flounders. The only reported decline is for southern flounders. According to the powers that be, and I quote, "Some fishermen may not know the difference between the three, so we will close the fishery all in all." But as you can see, they are very similar, but they do have very distinct differences. Another prime example of why I believe that regulations here in the state of North Carolina are getting out of hand is the cost of a recreational fishing license. The cost has nearly tripled since 2015. 2015, a state license covered both salt and freshwater fishing, and it was $15. As of today, a saltwater recreational fishing license will cost you $15. However, to add the freshwater endorsement, it will run you another $25. In addition to that $40, the state has also affixed a $3 transaction fee, bringing the grand total to $43. Senator Danny Britt cited a study that stated last year alone, recreational fishermen spent over $2.3 billion on fishing licenses. With yearly prices increasing, by the time my 5-year-old is at the required age of a license, there's no telling how much it will cost. My advice to people who want to fish recreationally is purchase a lifetime fishing license. It will be a one-time lump sum payment of $350, but you will never need to worry about prices inflating over time. Whether you're saltwater fishing on the beautiful coast of North Carolina or freshwater fishing in the pristine Carolina mountains, you may have noticed that public fishing areas are becoming harder to access. The large part of this problem is the development of properties surrounding the various lakes, ponds, streams that we all enjoy so much. Senator Andrew Brock has stated that the development and urbanization are the main threats to the North Carolina sportsman. Our access to hunting and fishing has been greatly limited. There has been a lot of land that has been developed, so naturally we have fewer resources. That statement, in my opinion, could not have been said better. The big companies are coming in, they're purchasing land from private owners, destroying the land, and developing houses, shopping centers, hotels, you name it. But thankfully for us, our politicians have heard our cry, and Senate Bill 667 was filed. The proposal will allow voters to decide whether to amend the North Carolina Constitution to add the right to hunt and fish. One time, my favorite saltwater childhood fishing spot located on Topsail Beach was a prime fishing paradise. If you were not set up on the water by 5:30, you were not fishing there that day. Everything you can think of, from redfish, black drum, flounder, and cobia, could be found in this one location. The location was a large mass of rocks, what we call jetties. They're notorious for growing barnacles, and they house crustaceans. Small bait fish tend to congregate in these areas, which attract the larger game fish. After the state closed this public access, the citizens learned that it was closed to develop a hotel. These situations are constantly happening. So I am highly in favor of Senate Bill 667. In conclusion, with the ever so challenging size and bag limits, the consistent inflation on recreational fishing licenses, and the overdevelopment of prime fishing locations, North Carolina's recreational fishing may soon just be non-existent. It is a hobby enjoyed by thousands of citizens of the state of North Carolina, so I hope they do something so future generations will have the opportunity to enjoy this very rewarding spot. On behalf of the semi-pro Chasing Tails Outdoors fishing team, thank you for your time.